disgrace and cult disgrace. Now then he calling their customers all like the dust, and those who oppose us even Lahore. Toga Changa, Toga Talon, disgrace and cult disgrace. Now then he calling their customers all like the dust, and those who oppose us even Lahore. Push it here and top.
High in the halls of the kings who are gone, Jenny would dance with the ghosts, the one she had lost and the one she had found, and the ones who had loved her the most, the ones who'd been gone for so very long she couldn't remember their names. They spun her around on the damp cold stones, spun away all her sorrow and pain.
And good morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on and what time zone you are in. I am Skeptically Speaking.
And I am Sweet Pea from across the pond.
And what a show we have for you today. Looks like you found us. You found us. Not hard, is it? But you've only found us on YouTube. But you can also find us in other places. Some high places, some low places. You can find us on TikTok, Blue Sky, Discord, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, and Substack. If you want more independent media in your life, please consider supporting the show. Support us on Cash App, Venmo, and Patreon. We'd love to have your patronage. We'd love to have your support. Thank you in advance. How are you doing, Sweet Pea?
I'm doing okay. Feeling a little better. Still got a little bit of the flu, but hopefully the chills and the hot flashes are getting better. So I just got aches at the moment. So I'm getting a little bit better. How are you doing today, Skeptically?
Well, I'm enjoying my Sprecher cream soda with Evan Williams Honey Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Who knew that they went together?
I'm glad they went together. I was wondering if that
should they go together?
They should go together. I'm glad they go together. Now you've got a cocktail that is like drinkable, because that honey whiskey hasn't seen the light for a little bit, has it?
It's been it's been in the cupboard for about 3-4 years. It's literally the last thing I have to drink. So I'm like, you know what? I'll figure out a way to get down.
That is okay.
I'll mix it with something. It'll go with something.
I remember that when you tried that first on the show a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixer drink. It's not something you drink straight.
No,
I think that's what turned me off. It was just sickeningly sweet, and then paired with, straight bourbon whiskey. It's just, yeah, it's a mixer for sure. I mean, the least they could have done is put a few recipes on there for me.
Yeah. If it got a barcode, maybe it'll have recipes like online or something. If not, you'll just have to make up your own cocktails, because that is half the fun of making cocktails, making up your own recipes.
Yeah, perfect as a chilled shot, on the rocks, or mixed. So it's definitely on the rocks and mixed. It's not a straight shot, and there's no way in hell.
No.
I mean, you have to have a taste for that.
That stuff is pretty much like vodka. Disgusting by itself, but nice when it's mixed with other things.
That's why I drink Swedish vodka. The Sky Blue or whatever it's called.
I don't believe I've tried that. Is that nice?
Yeah, they have a multitude of different flavors that they prepare it with. Raspberry seems
Ah,
I like the mixed berry raspberry. But yeah, definitely mixed with something, but vodka straight.
yeah. I've drunk vodka straight. It's like drinking sort of either moonshine or paint stripper.
Mm,
hmm So if that one
no,
tastes
thank
sweeter,
you.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. Well, I want to wow you with some of my favorite memes. News you may
Oh,
have missed or news you may have just heard before. It seems that the Tennessee is not quite finished with fascism. A Republican candidate just barely squeaked by and won a seat that was up for grabs in Nashville. So, Tennessee, I guess they want to suffer a little bit more. Tennessee special election. Republican Matt Von Epps fends off upset and defeats Democrat Aftyn Behn. And what's so sad is I didn't hear about Aftyn Behn until probably this week. I mean, that's how little we've heard of this race. Good luck, Tennessee. You're going to need it. I guess a lot of people thumbs up this article. They're like, woo, 453 thumbs up, 470 comments. I don't even want to look at the comments. It's a cesspool. Republican Von Epps, who President Donald Trump endorsed, won a special election on Tuesday for a House seat from Tennessee, beating out a stronger than expected Democratic challenger in a deep red district that Trump won by 22 points. So there is a slight, there's a little bit swing to the left, but not enough to really mean a damn. The Associated Press called the race for Van Epps an hour and a half after the polls closed. With nearly all votes counted, the Republican candidate had secured 53.9% of the vote, while the Democratic challenger, Aftyn Behn, ended up with 45. Yeah, now you have to count the votes that went to a third-party candidate, which was pointless. But anyway, Van Epps' victory margin on nearly 9 points is significantly lower than the 21-point margin by which Republican won the seat in the 2024 election, and the 22-point margin by which Trump won the district. So yeah, Tennessee is going to have to suffer a little bit more. More people are going to have to be impacted by Trump's policies for people to start extracting their heads from their asses and realize how badly they're getting fisted by the GOP. The congressional district, a Republican stronghold won by President Donald Trump in 2024, was previously represented by Representative Mark Green, who resigned in July. And I forgot the story of why he resigned. I'm not sure if it was scandal related, but it's always something with these Republicans. Von Epps, a former state official, was endorsed by Trump in October, shortly before winning the Republican primary, and then $1 million from Maga Super PAC. Behn is a member of the Tennessee House of Representatives who raised over $1 million from October to November and received $1 million from the House Majority PAC. So she raised quite a lot of money in a span of a month and a half. That is wild. So there are smart people in Tennessee, just not enough. And too many people are still not showing up to the polls. But this is why it's harder for a Republican to win. They split Nashville, the epicenter of Tennessee. They split it into 3 different districts just to water down the vote to make sure a Democrat never wins. And it worked. So in order for people to realize how bad the GOP is, they're just going to have to suffer more from the Trump tariffs. And now we're starting a war with Venezuela. We've got ICE, Nazi Gestapo agents kicking down doors, storming schoolrooms, raiding places of work, establishments, stores, what have you. And yeah, we're just gonna, you know what, just for the fuck of it, I'm just gonna hit the comment section. Let's just see. Let's see. Most articles leading up to this fight said she was only behind by 2 points, yet she was beaten by almost 7. Do you think the media was trying to influence the outcome? No, at the time she was beating. See, these people have no idea how time works. Leading up to the fight, she was only behind by 2 points. Okay, that is what the polling was showing. And when it came down to it, she was eventually beaten by 7. Okay, so the time before the election and the time after the election, those are 2 different times. See, these people, she lost, but the fact that she posed a challenge at all is mind-blowing considering she trashed the city and state she wants to represent. She trashed it? You're dealing with a moron. AP already called it. Van Epp wins. Not surprisingly, the polls were wrong again. They all said a 2 to 3 point difference, and with 99% of the vote in, it's 9%. Democrats will scream it's a win to be that close, but in reality, it's a single vote special election no matter who. Do I want to read the rest of this? Okay. Sorry, Dems, you lost again. Okay. Wow, good for her. She gave him a hard fight in a ruby red district. I see cracks appearing in the GOP. Oh, that's true. She lost by nearly 9% with 95% of the votes counted. She got hammered, but Dems are trying to pull a moral victory out of it. Okay, well, yeah, all right. I don't think it's radical to have spent my entire career organizing to make healthcare more affordable and groceries cheaper. Sounds like a good campaign slogan. Yeah, no shit. It does. It is. It's a good policy. In a district where Trump secured a 22% victory, a loss of 8.5 still qualifies as a defeat. Well, no one's arguing that. Atticus Finch, that's your name. States aiming to gerrymander in favor of Republicans should take heed. You cannot carve out districts with narrow margins. Aftyn ran a strong campaign and came close to winning. The Democrats proved to be stronger and more evenly matched in this race, while the Republicans just welcomed another pedo member to the ranks. I don't know if I'd go that far, but basically a pedo supporter. Yeah. Roughly a 9-point win in this environment. Surprised. That's really not all that close. Dems need to take note. They have their favored candidate. They spent money like it was free. Their candidate got more than benevolent press coverage and they still lost. Okay. So different people are taking different lessons from this race, I guess. No biggie, said Russ. It's a historically red seat anyway, and no one truly expected them to take it. The fact that it was a whole lot closer than was expected is what is important. It shows that people are growing weary of the GOP and their lies. Let's see. A Democratic candidate that hated Nashville, hated Tennessee, and likely hated the country. The typical Democrat. These people, it's like anything that's against the GOP is considered hate. That's what that is what this cult mindset is. Anything short of love and reverence to their favorite orange Jesus is considered hate. Well, anyway, that's enough of the comments for me. I'm done. It's just interesting to see the thought processes of some people. It's like, okay.
It is. Do you know, considering that Tennessee is like one of the birthplaces of like blues and rock and roll and Tennessee whiskey and hot wings, I would have thought these people would have had a little bit more sense.
Yeah, you would think.
I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is what a deluge of disinformation and misinformation, this is what it gets you, you know? Mm-hmm. People enjoy all the perks, and then they go and fucking choose disinformation, they choose authoritarianism, they choose fascism. Well, it seems the White House decided to use Sabrina Carpenter music. And so Sabrina Carpenter slams evil and disgusting White House video that sets Juno to ice raids. So her latest song, I think, Juno. So Sabrina Carpenter called out the inhumane agenda of the Donald Trump administration after the White House used her song Juno in a social media feature, ICE agents carrying out an arrest. Posted Monday, the 20-second clip opened with footage of people ostensibly protesting against ICE raids before transitioning to a montage of agents appearing to chase down and detain allegedly undocumented immigrants. The caption quoted Carpenter's lyrics, "Have you ever tried this one? Bye-bye." On X, Carpenter responded to the video writing, "This video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda." As of the publication, the video was still up on the White House X and TikTok accounts. A rep for Carpenter did not immediately return Rolling Stone's request for comment. Abigail Jackson, a White House spokesperson, said in a statement to Rolling Stone, "Here's a short and sweet message to Sabrina Carpenter. We won't apologize for deporting dangerous criminal, illegal murderers, rapists, pedophiles from our country. Anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid, or is it slow?" Basically quoting lyrics from her Man-Child. And speaking of Man-Child, Donald Trump attacked multiple journalists for questioning his stamina. And then right after, just literally right after that, as soon as his press conference started going on, he just fell asleep in his chair. Yeah, talking about a man-child. Oh, speaking about pedophiles, murderers, and dangerous criminals, Pete Hegseth and his kill orders for a fishing boat. Turns out that we, the United States of America, became a terrorist state. We attacked a fishing boat, we first bombed the boat. They saw through their, satellite imaging 2 survivors, clinging to wreckage. And then they ordered another strike to kill those 2 men in the water. Turns out it was a fishing boat. So if you want to talk about dangerous criminals, Abigail, why don't you look at the pedophile that you're supporting, that you're working under and working for? That would be Donald J. Trump.
Exactly.
And as far as sick monsters, you got Pete Hegseth ordering a kill order. Kill them all was the order.
I don't know. We discussed this a little bit on those so-called drug boats that they blew up. I didn't see any evidence of any drugs around the water, just wreckage. I do think that they're killing innocent people. They need to be removed and tried.
Yeah.
Question is anybody going to have the balls to sort of enact the 25th
We have
Amendment?
to elect the people that would vote in favor of. This is the problem. Tennessee today, or I should say yesterday, failed in that aspect. They had a chance and they failed to elect a representative that could have voted in favor of removing the monster in chief.
I think Tennessee is so swamped and so wanting that their privileges, they don't want to get rid of the rapist in the White House.
What
So I guess
privileges?
they want to
I'm just curious. It's like, what privileges do they? What privileges are you enjoying with Trump? You know, it's just
must be a clan thing.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Because like
DC suspect, the DC shooting suspect will probably, I don't know if we'll dedicate an entire show to this, but apparently, yeah. Ramanula Lakanwai, or Lakanwal, may have been coerced into carrying out last week's attack on 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard. This shooter, the DC shooter, literally worked for us in Afghanistan. Worked supporting our troops. I'm trying to remember what their jobs were. Most of the time they would provide intelligence. I'm trying to think of, let's see, Afghan National. There's a special name they give them. And, we've been trying to get them from Afghanistan to the U.S. where they'll be safer. So apparently the U.S. intelligence source. No. No. They worked alongside U.S. troops in Afghanistan. There's a proper word to describe them, and it's not coming to mind. Let's just go ahead and read. Basically, the U.S. intelligence are investigating whether the Taliban may have blackmailed the 29-year-old Lakanwal into shooting Andrew Wolf and Sarah Beckstrom. Sarah Beckstrom has since deceased, and no flags were lowered for her. That's amazing to me. We lowered the flags for Charlie, the podcaster Kirk, but we couldn't lower the flags for an actual service member. That's just interesting.
Well, that's because Trump thinks all service members are losers and suckers because he has no respect. Captain Bonespurs has no respect for serving members who are literally giving up their lives to protect the country that he is destroying. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Lockenwall was also shot during the ambush-style attack and remains hospitalized. So he's still alive, thankfully. Let's get some information out of him and see what the fuck. According to one armed intelligence source, Lockenwall may have felt pressure to drive across the country from his home in Bellingham, Washington, to the nation's capital if Taliban fighters gave him an ultimatum to either attack U.S. troops or have his family killed. Wow. This puts an interesting perspective. Not only should we have gotten these guys out, we should have gotten their families out. We gave them promises during the war on terrorism that they would, if they fought with us, alongside us, we would be there for them. We would help them get them out. And we fucking failed them. It is by no means our only line of inquiry. People in this country have no idea about the level of stress these people are under. Most of them have families back home, and if the Taliban cannot get to them, they are making it very clear that they will go after their families. So how would you like to see video footage emailed to you of your families being tortured because you did not do what the Taliban told you to do? Let's see. So, in Afghanistan, Lockenwall was a member of the Afghan Scorpion Forces who worked with Central Intelligence Agency as a GPS tracking specialist. Lockenwall was one of the very last flights. He was on one of the very last flights to the U.S. out of Kabul, along with more than 120,000 other Afghan refugees who feared retribution from the Taliban if left to fend for themselves. The Beast further reported that the Taliban has since formed a military unit dubbed Yarmouk 60, whose mission is to track down and kill Afghans who helped the United States. The outlet's source said that one member of the Afghan Triples unit that was set and funded by the United Kingdom escaped to Germany and hoped his family would follow. However, Yarmouk 60 fighters ended up killing his wife, his father, and 4 of his children. Wow. Lockenwall has been charged on 1 account of murder, 2 counts of assault with the intent to kill, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. I have no doubt this man would have killed himself if that was the option. This is what happens when we fail our allies. What a fucking sad, tragic story. You know, we made these guys promises. You fight with us, we'll have your back and we'll defend you. And this is what we did. Left them out to dry. And the ones we did manage to get out, their families were left. And so now they're being targeted by the Taliban. The same Taliban that Donald Trump made deals with, he released 5,000 of their fighters prior to our withdrawal from Afghanistan. Speaking of all things disgusting and vomit, it seems that a norovirus that causes extreme vomiting is on the rise again. Nicknamed the winter vomiting disease, the highly contagious norovirus has arrived weeks ahead of the expectations per the CDC. Wow, we still have a functioning CDC. Amazing. It's surging as cases of whooping cough, pertussis are spiking and dangers of COVID and the flu loom. The sickness could require medical attention or even hospitalization for immunocompromised people and elderly and little kids, the CDC says. Cases of norovirus have doubled over the last few weeks, according to new data. About 14% of tests for norovirus came back positive during the week of November 15th, doubled roughly 7% positively 3 months ago. Test positivity, though imperfect, generally helps health officials understand how many people are confirmed to have the illness when it's suspected. What is the norovirus? Norovirus can cause extreme cases of vomiting and diarrhea due to the inflammation of the stomach and intestines. This is why some refer to the norovirus as the extreme vomiting disease. Or you can look at the various pictures of the Trump administration, and that can also induce vomiting. So
I was literally just about to say it's like the Trump party.
diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach pain, dehydration. Sounds about
pretty much what Trump and his administration are doing to the country, causing the country to vomit shit and lose consciousness.
Norovirus is a human virus that is typically transmitted by fecal oral route. That just means that we've handled something that is contaminated, and once it's in our hands, and we do all sorts of things with our hands. Ugh. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, I also wanted to showcase some of the memes. Evan Kilgore on X said, "Yes, I voted for this. We are so back." This was in April of 2025. And then, 6-7 months later, if that? The government just fucked my family's livelihood. Literally destroyed it overnight with the hemp provision. Yeah, they're trying to do away with hemp. "I will not be voting in 2026 or 2028. The GOP sucks and will sell out to the lobbies and big donors at the expense of the American people. Fuck the government." How about fuck the GOP? Fuck the Republicans you voted for, you dumbass. But you know what? If you want to sit out the election, go ahead. I guess I'd rather you do that than keep voting Republican. But you know what? It's a long, long way to the midterms. He'll be back. They always come back, these fuckfaces. That's okay, even. You'll be back. So apparently, Kevin O'Leary on what the fuck on X says, I flew into New York expecting that the new mayor promised free everything. A free ride? Nope. Free dinner? Nope. I want my free stuff. And so Matt responds, Zoran does not become mayor until January, dear. Go ahead.
So I found some information. So the word you were looking for the counter-terrorism elite Afghan unit, they call them 0 units.
Okay.
So, because I know you were saying there was a specific word that they were calling the people in Afghanistan that were helping the US for the counter-terrorism. They were calling them 0 units.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And he's not fired yet. Let's see, what else do we got? Online reports that the nurse involved in the incident identified as LaChrista Vaughn. She was the one who literally made a black woman sit in a wheelchair screaming in pain while she tippity tap tap stupid on her computer asking dumb fucking questions. She has not
medical license revoked.
As far as we know, she has not been fired, so calm down, everybody. The hospital hasn't publicly confirmed Vaughn's termination. She needs to be fired. She's not going to be fired because she's white in America. They're still conducting their investigation. I guess screaming for 30 minutes on video wasn't enough. So yeah, they still got to investigate. Yeah, don't tread on me.
To investigate. There is nothing to investigate. They have got video footage of her blatantly ignoring a patient who is clearly in distress and pain.
Yeah.
Clearly ignoring her.
Arrest the president. You have the evidence. Yep.
She needs a medical license revoked. She doesn't belong anywhere near the medical field, and neither does any of her colleagues who sat by and watched that lady in the wheelchair in distress. All of them need to be fired. All of their medical licenses need to be revoked. They don't need to investigate it further.
At the very least.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It is what it is, you know. And the same the people that say, "Oh, don't tread on me," and then you put on the Republican glasses. What's the problem with doing that to kids? Basically saying, you know, what's wrong with that? Making excuses for the GOP, making excuses for the Epstein files, making excuses for Donald Trump being a all-around creep and a fuckwit and a child abuser.
Pass me a pair of 6-inch heels and I'll stamp all over the fuckers for you.
Yeah. It's gross. So some asshole on Twitter decided to inadvertently start a new trend. So a woman says, I passed my Viva exam. After 4 years of research, I successfully defended my thesis. You can call me doctor. So she has now got a doctor. And Richard Cooper, asshole, says, oh, just look at the degree on that chick. No man ever. So now women who post their degrees online, people in the comments are repeating the phrase, well, check out the degree on her.
Oh my, jealous? Your misogyny is showing. Like, tell me you're sort of lacking something somewhere to make fun of someone else's intelligence.
Yeah, and they think they're winning, and they wonder why. They wonder why they're being left in the dirt. They wonder why they're being abandoned. They wonder why women want nothing to do with them. And they just double down in their stupidity. They double down in their misogyny.
It is men like Richard Cooper, Why Women Pick the Bear. He thinks he's been such an alpha male. No, it's not the flex he thinks it is. There is
definitely not.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman getting a degree. And there shouldn't be any wrong, and no man should ever feel threatened. A woman sort of being intelligent and having degrees. I mean, I would have thought, wouldn't it be better to have a partner who is your intellectual equal? Someone that you can have a sort of proper conversation with. Wouldn't that,
See, the problem is men are getting left behind in the education department, and they feel threatened, and they feel, impotent, and women are finding out, you know what? Maybe I don't need a man. Maybe I can be successful on my own, and I don't have to have added stress.
Maybe they should turn that frustration and sort of put it towards something that will benefit them, benefit their future, instead of like taking it out on women, because it is not our fault.
No, it's women's fault. It's women's fault. They're the ones. They're the reason we're alone.
And this is why we have the lonely epidemic amongst men.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Men, birth rates are plummeting. You want women to serve you, be at your beck and call, and to do everything for you. It's not going to be good. It's not going to go good for us.
So this may be kink shaming a little, but why do so many men have sexual fantasies about secretaries, teachers, and other sort of intelligent women if they're not wanting that actual intelligence behind the look? Why be intimidated by that?
Only if the intelligence benefits them personally. You see how that works? But the moment women decide to use the intelligence for themselves, then it becomes a problem. You see how that...
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It
But,
shouldn't.
yeah.
Men should not be scared of a strong, independent woman who can think for herself. I would have thought that would have enhanced a relationship, made it stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and this is why, and so women are like, you know what? Good. It's like they would rather, and I just read an article, this article was blaming the loneliness epidemic for men. They thought the main cause was? Men not updating their profiles on these dating apps.
No, it's not. No, it's got
That's what they said.
With them no, it's not them updating their profiles. It's because they can't update the way they're thinking. They're holding on to this misogynistic sort of outlook on old-fashioned tropes that no longer have any purpose in the modern day world.
You tell them that.
Illogical ideologies away.
No, it's insane. It's insanity. It's like, guys,
it is insanity.
Learn. No, we're not going to learn at all. Moving on. Israel has been in the news lately. Yeah. So this was way back in November. Way back in November last month, they attacked UN defense troops. They UNIFIL peacekeepers from a Merkava tank from near position of Israel established a Lebanese territory. Hold on. Heavy machine gun round hits approximately 5 meters from the peacekeepers, who were on foot and had to take shelter in the terrain. Peacekeepers asked for the IDF to stop firing through UNIFIL's liaison channels, they were able to leave safely 30 minutes later when Merkava tank withdrew inside the IDF position. Fortunately, no one was injured, but they fired on UN peacekeeping troops.
What happened to the peace deal that they supposedly got in place?
They don't care. They do not care. They are literally putting a middle finger to the world and saying, I dare you.
Yeah. So the second thing as well, isn't that against the Geneva? I can't even pronounce that properly.
Geneva Convention. Well, it's against the UN Charter. It's like,
yeah.
You want a seat at the table and you're going to fire on UN troops? Are you fucking insane?
No, exactly. Because aren't the sort of peacekeepers the equivalent of, aid workers, like the Red Cross and stuff?
Well,
yeah.
Aid workers with rifles. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a show on this later, but
yeah, I think
Israel murdered 2 young boys just recently out gathering wood, and Israel claimed that the Palestinians had violated a ceasefire agreement, and they used that as an excuse to kill 2 little boys.
That's disgusting.
Yep, and we'll be talking about that later.
Yeah, okay.
It's just I mean, these people are beyond evil. They are the worst.
They are.
The worst of the worst.
Netanyahu needs to be charged for war crimes. So does Putin.
Yep. So real quickly, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
Real quickly,
I was just going to. Do you want to go? I was just going to say quickly, I really hope Zelensky tells Trump and Putin where they can stick their rotten ass deals.
Yeah, that's another one. Mm-hmm. It's like Ukraine, we're leaving them hanging in the wind. I don't know if you've heard of a trad wife on TikTok who got banned off of TikTok because she decided it was a good idea to use the N-word quite liberally. And she just went all out. So she's in the news again, but let me play you some footage from way back.
So I know y'all seen this this racist piece of shit cunt bitch right here, Lily Gaddis. I know y'all seen her shenanigans, her racist shenanigans, and she lives here in my city where I live, in my hometown where I've grown up my whole life. She lives here, and I was just
run into her.
I would
just
love to run into her, and if there is a baby Jesus, please, little baby Jesus, let me run into her. I just want to talk to her. I just want to have a little chat. And if anybody in the comments,
she went on her little show and decided to go blackface and then do the Heil Hitler salute on camera. Because, I mean, she thinks she's untouchable. And she thinks she can get away with shenanigans, even though she didn't do this on her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is coming into focus after this.
Wants to defend her, then you're a racist piece of shit cunt bitch too. Yeah.
What? Black women, you tear your hair out by the roots. You put every sort of chemical on your hair to straighten it out, despite being so proud of being black. And then you wonder why you have alopecia. And then you guys fight all the time, and yet you wear massive hoop earrings, you wear weaves in your hair.
She does realize that alopecia is a medical condition.
All of these things are not
something you can catch through dyeing your hair.
Let me turn this racist stream around into something positive. Okay, black women, listen up. Listen up. A black woman is speaking.
In case you've ever wondered what it looks like for a former it girl of the far right to be put out to pasture, now you know. Everything about this video reeks of desperation. Because speaking as a political content creator myself, who has built her own sizable audience by being interesting and intelligent and having something of actual value to say, I know a desperate appeal for attention from a person with no actual talent when I see one. For anyone that doesn't recognize her, by the way, this is the same girl that went viral a few years ago for saying the N-word on TikTok and then went on Piers Morgan to do the same exact thing. She had a brief moment of fame on the far right thanks to that little stunt, although her 15 minutes really turned out to be more like 5.5 after the racist chudge she was attempting to appeal to realized that she has a mixed-race child. And I'm being very intentional here by not using her name, by the way. There is nothing that this woman would love more than for someone with an audience on the left like me to send our followers over to engage with her content. So I won't be doing that. And I'd ask that you refrain from putting her name in the comments either. I shared that first clip with you, not just so that we could react to it itself, but so that you'd have context for this next clip I'm about to show you. In this next clip, she's attempting to explain why she did an entire live stream in blackface. And in doing so, she accidentally gives the rest of us the perfect clip to show to any centrist or moderate conservative still attempting to hand wave away casual racism as not that deep. Because as she makes it very clear in the clip, it is, in fact, that deep for people like her.
I want to explain the method behind the madness and perhaps what my long-term goals are. You know when you make a hot, like you boil a lot of water because you want to make tea or whatever? Well, you have to temper the pot before you do that. So you put water in slowly, that's warmer and warmer and warmer until that glass jar, pot, pitcher, whatever, is tempered. And until it's tempered, you cannot pour the boiling hot water into it or it will crack the pot. So what me and several other people do is we say the worst things possible in the most wild, outlandish ways possible. When we have a leader that has all the messaging that we want, instead of people digging up his past and, oh, he said this racist thing, and oh, did you hear that he said the N-word once? That people...
I like how she's fast forwarding her voice to where it's pitched higher in its sound. She sounds like a munchkin from Wizard of Oz.
Won't care because they're so used to hearing the craziest things ever that a leader with our aligned views will be able to get into elected position of power without being taken down by the typical media smears. The mass deportations will not seem so shocking if you have rhetoric like mine out there, because the people will become used to hearing that.
Anyway, in conclusion, best of luck to that talentless hack as she learns the hard way why you should never put all of your metaphorical eggs in the basket of a movement that hates women. I'd say we'll miss you as you slowly fade into your pathetic washed-up obscurity, but we both know that would be a lie, so I'll just say good riddance instead.
Yeah, so there's another video of her literally saying, oh no, they demonetized my channel and it was my main moneymaker. Basically, she admits to not having a plan, not having a way to make up the lost revenue she was getting on YouTube. You know, so what she was trying to do was trying to be slick by putting all of her racist content on one site and doing her not as racist, but very close to it on her YouTube. So it was still within guidelines. But apparently, if you fuck up on other sites, it can also affect your YouTube. So she is demonetized and her main source of income is gone. So the only option
I would say
has,
I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Oh yeah. Yeah. None of us are sorry on this show, and I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad for her.
Yeah. She needs to be humbled. And I really do hope karma humbles her in the most delicious way, because she is absolutely vilely disgusting.
Yeah. Worst of the worst. But yeah, her source of income is dried up. But let's get to the main event. Racism on the dance floor? What the fuck? So apparently Because of the rise of douchebag podcasters, racism is becoming more and more prevalent. It's becoming more and more acceptable, kind of, sort of. So racism on the dance floor, this is from the Talon. It says, recently I've seen my TikTok feed filled with videos of people reenacting the notorious scene between dance mom Kelly Hyland and dance teacher Abby Lee Miller, where Hyland nearly bit Miller's finger off. The scene was part of a Lifetime reality TV show, Dance Moms, which follows the journey of talented young competitive dancers and their mothers at the Abby Lee Dance Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and is gaining popularity because of unnecessary dramatics. Or, yeah, probably racism too. The show gained...
stand that Dance Moms.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Well.
I do not envy you. The show
entitled White Chicken Nuggets.
Yep, it gained popularity not only because of the dancers' talent, but also because of the pugnacious nature of the mothers. Just say repugnant and despicable, as they constantly argue with Miller and with one another about alleged preferential treatment and who gets a solo. Essentially, the show consists of middle-aged women arguing over children's jazz pieces, with dancers under constant pressure to win. Miller's harsh teaching methods and the mother's consistent fighting. Lifetime creates a chaotic environment that leads viewers to disregard one of the show's many underlying issues: racism. Being one of the handful of black dancers on the show and the dancers that stayed on the team the longest, Nia Sue was often treated terribly in relation to her teammates. Miller would constantly verbally berate her, and unlike the other girls, Nia was only given stereotypical ethnic solos in which she was often typecast. This made it seem like Nia could only do these solos and no other types because of her race, which wasn't true. In her notorious solo, Lakifa, and one of her only solos, Nia portrayed black drag queen Shangela Lakifa Wadley. From the cheetah print costume to the afro she wore, everything about the solo was stereotypical and culturally insensitive. I mean, just reading about it. The choreography completely failed to represent black culture. Although the solo was supposed to have Nia embrace her heritage, the choreography failed to do so because it was based on Miller's view, a white person's view of black culture. There you go. That's where you fucked up.
Mm-hmm. It was completely whitewashed to the point of being absolutely disgusting.
Why don't you have actual black people take charge of whatever choreography and then go from there? The choreography, completely failed to represent black culture. Although the solo was supposed to have Nia embrace her heritage. Yeah, Lifetime's blatant racism is also clear through the portrayal of another black dancer, Nikaya Wiley, and her mother, Kaya Wiley, in season 3 and 4. I am so glad I am missing out on this show.
You ain't missing anything, if I am being honest. I watched the first season when it first came out, and it was disgusting back then for me. It's even worse now.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how much of the show would you say you may have seen?
So it was around the time that like Honey Boo Boo come out.
Oh, good Lord. That's way back. Whew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so...
What, 2017?
Yeah. No, she was... Honey Boo Boo was up before that, wasn't she? When she first came out, I think she was like 5 or 6. Because I couldn't believe that some mother would honestly give her little girl like go-go juice. So I got watching that, and then like I seen Dance Moms, and I watched the first season of that, and that was like way too much. Like they've got the children dressed totally inappropriately. Not to mention, children should not be wearing makeup to look like an adult. That is like so disgusting in itself. Let alone the misogyny, the racism, and the other things that are going on. It's disgusting. It is disgusting beyond word. It is like fucking pick-me pageants for paedophiles. Like, I cannot believe that these mothers would subject their children going through the disgustingness of it.
Yeah, I guess when you're desperate to make a name and a career for your child, I mean, it's amazing how much bullshit you're willing to tolerate. Speaking of bullshit, similar to all the moms on the show, Wiley stood up for her child and argued with other mothers who questioned if her daughter deserved her place on the competition team. Although the various seasons and episodes that the duo appeared in, Lifetime mostly aired footage of Wiley when she was yelling or angry, essentially perpetuating the age-old stereotype of the angry black woman. Lifetime showed other mothers angry as well, but also portrayed other sides of them while just showing Wiley angry. I mean, that whole show is just fucking anti-black to me.
So the first time I
hold on. While it's no doubt that Wiley wasn't the nicest or sweetest on the show, the producers would purposefully exclude context in scenes, according to many dancers and moms' accounts. Lifetime portrayed Wiley as constantly upset, when in reality there was almost always a trigger that caused her to fight for herself. For instance, white mom Christy called Wiley a hood rat, which is a racially derogatory term, yet Lifetime still decided to keep it in the show, knowing that it would offend many. Wiley probably had to deal with comments like these on numerous occasions, explaining why she was angry, but Lifetime excluded the context of these situations, portraying her as the bad guy. Well, there you go.
So, a little bit of background. So, Toddlers and Tiaras was out first in 2009. Honey Boo Boo came out in 2011. And Dance Moms come out after that. So, yeah. But all three of them are disgusting. They've all got racism, misogyny, and all that in there. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So why did Lifetime producers edit Kendall's words to make her seem racist? Why did they include and perpetuate racism on the show when it clearly made the dancers and their mothers very upset and uncomfortable? Lifetime's producers let all of this slide because of the chaos of the show was gaining them popularity. With every instance of racism on the show, more viewers would tweet about it, making the show more and more popular. Lifetime exploited the sensitivity of the racist experiences many of the black actors on the show faced for more views and portrayed their characters disproportionately, all in the means to gain more revenue. Greed. Yep. With increasing... See, this is why... I mean, this is our fault. This is on us. We kept watching shows like this. We gave them our attention. We gave them our energy. We gave them our focus. These people are pieces of shit. And we watched their shows. Here's another example. Kaufman School. Dancers grapple with racism in a canceled gala performance. A tight-knit community at the Gloria Kaufman School of Dance has been torn apart by allegations of racial slurs and degrading comments about black students. This is as of May 2025. This is closer to home. The weeks leading up to a planned 10-year anniversary gala this weekend have been tense after school leadership canceled one of its performances due to the turmoil. Interviews with 6 students making the accusations, half of whom are black, reveal the school of just 106 students has struggled to respond to students who say the environment is uncomfortable. So what's been happening to make this environment uncomfortable? Kaufman Dean Julia Ritter emailed all students on April 1st that reports of potential discrimination have been sent to USC's Office of Equity, Equal Opportunity, and Title IX Office for review, and stressed that people should reserve judgment to let the investigation go forward. Sources who spoke to Annenberg Media on the condition of anonymity because of fear of being reprimanded described multiple incidences involving 11 freshman students who they said contributed to what they view as discriminatory harassment. Ritter did not respond to Annenberg Media's interview request. USC PR said the school is taking all allegations seriously and is committed to addressing blah, blah, blah. Hours have been spent investigating. So a black Kaufman student told Annenberg Media she became aware of what she described as racism during a meeting of freshmen in March. They learned that nearly a dozen non-black freshmen had perpetually used offensive language, including the N-word, in private conversations at the dance school, multiple students said. Before this scenario, I really believed that Kaufman was a safe space for diversity, equity, and inclusion because we saw equal opportunity for everyone. We had open communication. According to the student, one incident included 5 freshmen encouraging each other to actively repeat racial slurs against black students. Why the fuck are you letting these people in your school? Are you that desperate for participants?
They don't care as long as they get money. They don't care how uncomfortable they make other students as long as they're getting their commission. As long as they're making their dollars, they don't give a flying two fucks what happens to these young, impressionable, vulnerable students at their schools that they are supposed to be protecting.
Yeah, and another thing is all of this obviously has been reported. So why now? Why did you wait till it got so out of hand? The freshman class had 2 gatherings over the course of the spring semester to discuss hate speech allegations. Of the 26 students in attendance between the 2 sessions, each said that they had not used the racial slurs during an April 1st gathering. Witnesses by a reporter, at least 6 people, half of whom are white, said that they actually had used the slurs. Although the allegations against the school are being brought to light now, multiple students claim the offenses began at the start of the academic year in August. During the April 1st session, when USC stressed was not an official meeting, students sat in a circle in a dance studio and discussed the allegations. Over 70 faculty, staff, and students of the Kaufman community attended, and the Annenberg Media reporter was present in the room taking notes. Ritter advised against the meeting 2 hours prior via email sent by a Kaufman Student Services officer. Ritter instructed faculty to keep classes running as normal. In the gathering, which lasted 3 hours, students expressed concerns and frustrations toward their classmates' actions. Others openly admitted to using racial hate speech and using the N-word. It was an emotional outpour of students wailing, yelling, and exiting the rooms. Well, how the fuck are you going to have a dance troupe? Because when you have a dance group, a group effort, how can you have cohesion? How can you have cooperation if you don't trust or value the other people standing right next to you? I mean, I've seen...
You can't. It doesn't work. They all need to work as one unit. And if you've got that level of disrespect and untrust within the group, it's not going to work.
Right. I've seen these elaborate dance routines, which takes an entire group of 20 or 30 dancers. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of, blood, connecting.
Sweat, tears,
how can you connect with your fellow dancers if you know that they're being racially biased towards you, if they're openly expressing their racism? Why? I mean, how in the world? It's like racism is infecting every aspect of this country. This is what happens when you allow white supremacy to fester untreated and unaddressed. By not talking about it, by not addressing it, by not dealing with it head on, this is what happens.
Personally, I think all those students that are being racist need to be expelled.
Get rid of them. Cut out the rot. Why? Why would you keep them?
No, exactly. They need to expel them, because at the end of the day, you go to schools, you go to dance classes, you go to work to sort of be good at what you do. You don't go there to listen to a load of racial abuse. And I think anybody that is saying any racial slurs should be fired, kicked out, booted out. They shouldn't be allowed to be in that environment. It is not healthy. It's not a healthy, toxic people like that exist in that space. At the end of the day, these kids that get sent to dance school are getting sent there on the premise and understanding that their children are going to be safe in that environment, not to have their confidence and their sort of personal, their appearance being picked on, Children are supposed to be safe going to school.
So here's a quote from one of the students. They said, "The dean should know the nuances of their situation. The truth is that they don't like the intended impact of the message, and so they're trying to come in and threaten us, make us feel intimidated like we did something wrong." So basically, they're trying to call this out, and the dean is not doing a goddamn thing. Of the 6 students who spoke to Annenberg Media, all 6 said they believe the dean has not taken necessary actions to address the situation. Quote, "The biggest impact we might be able to make is talking to other students rather than coming up and having a meeting with the dean." Yeah, so there was a canceled Bollywood performance in order to prepare for the 10th annual gala, which will celebrate the legacy of Kaufman on Saturday. Students were expected to attend a filming session on April 5th. In light of the situation, some students said that they were uncomfortable dancing with their peers who they believed participated in the discriminatory behavior. Students protested that the 11 accused students be removed from the gala program. The dean made no changes and kept all the accused students in their prospective dances. See, this is why this continues. They think they can get away with it, and so the next time they're going to push it even further. What's next? They're going to put nooses in the lockers of these black students?
And I bet these same deans are the ones that don't kick the football boys off.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
So after much heated deliberation, Ritter told the assembled group that the school would not move forward with the Bollywood piece and told those who wished to participate that they could be in a jazz section during the gala instead. According to the 10 dancers in the meeting, the dean asked the students to raise their hands if they did not want to participate in the dance section. Exchanging hesitant glances, all of them raised their hands. The jazz piece was canceled not long after. So by not addressing the issue, thinking, well, if we just let this go, it'll be business as usual, you still didn't get your performance. It's over. It didn't go forward. So wouldn't it have been better just to bite the bullet and just get these fucking fuckwits out of your program and stand up and say, you know what? We would rather have no white people if they're going to be racist pieces of shit. We'll get more minorities in our dance group and we'll become better for it. How can you be adamant about protecting those accused kids when your black students have been uncomfortable since day one? Where was the protection for them? Good question. Another quote, the administration, especially the dean, has proved that diversity, equity, and inclusion is only a sentence in a syllabus and not an active practice, said another black student. There it is. White supremacy is a cancer, and it is killing our society. It kills everything it touches. Have we learned anything yet?
I guess people need to find out the hard way that racism is expensive.
Get this dean the fuck out of here. But you know what? I don't know that I can put all the blame on this dean. I wonder if there is more systemic rot higher up in the organization.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be just the dean, it'll be his superiors, and it would be the teachers around the dean as well that are openly supporting the racism. It will be the whole system that is corrupted and disgusting. Like that poor black firefighter that we were talking about the other day, that is stuck in a systemic racist sort of system where he is trying his hardest to save lives, and he has got a disgusting piece of shit colleague that is targeting him, and nobody's doing nothing about it.
Yep.
So the same principle in this dance school. They have got systemic racism going on, and they are not doing nothing about it as long as they get their checks at the end of the day. And it is disgusting. It is not good enough. Kids should feel safe when they go to school. These kids going to dance class should feel safe, and they should be getting graded on their dance ability, not what race they are.
But the problem is when you allow racism and white supremacy to fester, it affects the performance of everybody. Who wants to be in the room of somebody that hates the very ground you walk on? How are you supposed to perform at your best? Right? How does that work? And I'll tell you what, if it continues, all you're going to have left, you've got two choices. Either you're going to stand up for what you say you believe in, or just placate and bend the knee to white supremacy and just let it become a Hitler youth camp. Well, that's it. That's all I've got. But yeah, it's time we take this seriously. This is not a joke. This is not a game. White supremacy kills, it infects, it festers, and what has white supremacy done for anybody? What has it done for this country? What has it done for the world? Eh? Anyway, something to think about. And with that, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us. If you've stuck with us so far, we want to thank you. We also want to invite you to become a patron. If you find our content of any quality, we want to invite you to support us, Cash App, Venmo, or become a Patreon subscriber. If you want more independent media in your life, please consider supporting us.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate your comments. And thank you for being with us today. And thank you, Skeptically.
And with that, we will say good night.
Wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. Hide the scars to fade away. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to hide the scars that fade away the shake-up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when niggas deserve to die. In my self-righteous suicide, I cry when niggas deserve to die. I commend my spirit, Father, into your hands. Why have you forsaken me?